Hey, welcome to How to Fix It Workshop. My name is Josh. A while back, the folks at Armor Concepts reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in checking out one of their products. They specialize in hardware kits that attach to your existing exterior door to prevent the door from being kicked in. I thought it looked like a valuable extra security measure, so I happily agreed to check it out. They sent me their Max combo set, so I'm installing it on my garage man door today. Okay, so step one is to take these door shields and place them over the existing doorknob latch and the deadbolt opening. And we're gonna take our pencil, mark out these two holes, and then drill them out with a 7/16 inch drill bit. Yeah. I can feel that when it makes its way through, that the door jamb, this part of the door here, is only about an inch thick. Now the instructions didn't say to use this drill bit. They say to use a 9/64 inch drill bit for the rest of the installation. But these screws that go on this step number one, which is the door shield, they have smaller screws. The nice thing is everything is included, the screws and the bit, and it's a star bit, but the drill bits are not included, nor is the drill, of course. So the others say a 9/64, I'm using a 7/64 inch bit for these. A package of screws. Oh, doesn't make any sense for me to put my hand in front of it. Okay, everything still closes fine. Step one is complete. So step two is to install these two hinge shields. These are going to go over your existing hinges and protect the hinge from being able to be busted open or busted away from the door jamb. So you start with the middle hinge, and there's two of them. You're going to do the middle hinge and the bottom hinge, and you're going to remove the two screws that are closest to the weather stripping. And here's just one reason why this is a major improvement in security. This is the existing screw for the hinge, which is about 3/4 of an inch long. And this is the new screw for the hinge plate. It's 3.5 inches long. So remove those two screws that are closest to the weather stripping. I'm just going to drill them out with that 9/64 inch drill bit. I'm going to take one of those screws and put it in one of the holes. And then we take our hinge plate and line it up so that we can see another one of those holes. Or I'm sorry, so we can see the other hole. Which I can't. So I've read and reread the instructions a couple different times, and it says to remove the two screws that are closest to the weather stripping. So I did that. I drilled them both out, installed the one screw, but then maybe my hinge is a little bit of a different size than standard or normal, but my other hole does not line up with this empty slot here. So what you're supposed to do is line that hole up and screw that screw in, and then screw these two holes in, but the hinge is in the way. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is just notch this plate out a little bit so that I can slide this hinge plate down just a little bit further. Made a mark on the plate here for where I need to cut it out. I'm going to use my angle grinder to cut that little extra piece off of there. It should only take me a couple seconds. It's not pretty, but it'll work. Alright, now with that extra space that I created in the hinge plate there, I can easily see my other open hole. Okay, now we have two other holes here that we're gonna mark and screw in a couple more 3.5 inch screws. It's 12 o'clock. Oh, no problem. There's a shot of what it looks like on the inside. Not bad. So my door is white on the inside and outside, with the exception of the trim, the wooden trim that goes around it. But this is just my garage door. The one thing that they said in the instructions is that you can paint all of this powder-coated white pieces of metal. All you gotta do is rough them up just a little bit and you can paint them any color to match your existing door frame. Alright, so the first one looks good. I'm gonna install that second hinge plate. Alright, both of those hinge plates installed without any problem. The door still closes without any issue whatsoever. The last step is to install this jamb shield. So what this jamb shield is it's about a 3-foot long piece of steel that is going to protect the inside of the jamb. It's going to again have those 3.5 inch screws in several spots. They give you 17 of those 3.5 inch screws in the kit. There's 4 each on the jamb shields. And then we're going to use 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them here. And if you've ever experienced a door that's been kicked in, you'll know that most of the time the door fails right here. Whether you have a deadbolt that's well secured, it could have 2-inch, 3-inch screws. Those screws are just going to, since it's in one spot right there, they're just going to push through and bust that wood. This is going to spread that out a lot more and prevent that door from being kicked in. Now on my door here I have a couple extra strike plates with some longer screws, and I'm going to remove one of those because it protrudes out, sticks out a little bit further than the flush door jamb here. For the jamb shield installation, it says to take the shield and put it up next to your door and tuck it in behind the weather stripping, and just kind of mark out which of these slots to knock out, and you should be able to just knock them out with your thumb. So for me, mine is so close together that I'm going to knock out these 2 that are on either side of these 3 pre-drilled holes. It's pretty simple. I still want to use my existing holes for my deadbolt and for my door latch. So I've got that right where I want it. And I'm just going to mark out for these holes that I'm going to drill. Yeah, that wood is super soft. It's just pine in most cases, most likely. So it's just gonna, with any force, with those 2-inch screws, those screws are not even going into the framing of the house. These 3.5-inch screws, that's what they're supposed to do, is go through the door jamb and into the framing of the house. The only trouble that I have so far is that my deadbolt doesn't want to lock, and I think that's because I pulled the door jamb in tighter than it should be to the framing. I'm going to back all of these screws out just a little bit because I can actually see that my screws for my plate here for my deadbolt sucked in a little bit too much. All right, that's a lot better. Tighten these down just a little bit, not too much. Now I'm just going to swap out these 3-inch screws for these 3.5-inch screws and this plate here for the deadbolt. The door shuts fine, the deadbolt locks properly. The only thing that I don't like here that I see is there's some daylight coming in. I can actually feel the draft from the outside coming in here. So we're not sitting flush against the weather stripping, which I mean makes sense because these door shields do stick out a little bit. They do kind of wrap around the door itself. So there's a little bit of a gap there. I'll have to think about how to fix that. But other than that, the only other problem that I had was on the hinges where I had to notch out a little bit around the top, right down there, because my holes wouldn't line up with the plate. So an angle grinder, it only took a couple seconds to notch that out, but it was just a little bit of an extra step. Not sure exactly why that is, if they're actually designed for a smaller hinge or a rounded hinge or a hinge that has holes in different locations. I tried to do everything I could to figure out how to line it up properly with the holes on my hinges, but for whatever reason it just wouldn't work out. Okay, so that whole installation took me less than an hour and ran into a couple of little hiccups with the hinge shields there that I had to cut out that little spot. That took an extra couple minutes with my angle grinder. If you don't have an angle grinder, you probably use like a hacksaw or something if your holes don't line up. It was pretty easy to cut through that metal. The thing I really like about this is just kind of peace of mind with this product. I never heard of it before, and I was not sure what to expect, so I did a little bit of research, and I saw that the founder of the company actually installed these on his rental properties, because whenever he was rehabbing the properties, he was experiencing them getting broken into, the doors getting kicked in, and then people coming in and stealing all of his tools and maybe doing damage to the property. So being in that situation myself, having some rental properties that I'm rehabbing, I do plan to put one of these on the door of the properties as they're in the process of being fixed up. Because the last thing I want is to have somebody come in and steal all my tools, supplies, perhaps even destroy the place. So with it being here in my garage, it's a really nice additional piece of security to have. Sure, I could have a camera outside, I could have an alarm on the door of some sort, but this is going to prevent anybody from kicking the door down and just making their way quickly into the garage, and then this door here, which is right next to the garage door, goes into my house, goes into my laundry room, and I certainly don't want that. And we always have our cars in here, so it wouldn't be, it's not too far-fetched to think that somebody could just kick the door in and open up the garage door, take off with our cars, whatever. I mean, I live in a very safe area. Nothing like that usually happens around here, but you just never know. It's nice to have a little bit of extra security. So if you have any questions with this product, please let me know. I'll leave a link down below for this product, and I really appreciate you watching. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.